Alright, hello everyone and welcome. DSP here. This is the pre-stream for Wednesday, October 7th, 2015. And hello and welcome to a full gameplay day. That is right, today we'll be playing two of the new releases from this week. Starting with the premiere of Disgaea 5, Alliance of Vengeance. This was a game that is, the direct sequel to Disgaea 4, which obviously I played many years ago, and had never played a game in the series at that point. Kind of sucked at it. Quite honestly, I remember. Really sucked at it. Didn't really get it. I liked the story, but the gameplay was kicking my butt. And then I remember playing the game off camera quite a lot overnight. And learning the game a little bit better overnight, grinding, unlocking abilities. And once I started to do that, and understood the game a little more, then I liked it. So here we are years later, Disgaea 5. I'll be honest, I didn't even know if this game was going to come out because it's been so long since the last one. They've really took their time, spreading out the releases of the games in this series. And in a lot of ways, that could be a good thing because, number one, it doesn't feel like the game is rushed. It doesn't feel like it's too soon, a la Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty. Those games that just have too many installments. And quite honestly, the Tales of series, the past few years, you had Tales of Exillia, right? Then Tales of Exillia 2, and now Tales of Zestiria coming out in 2 weeks. That's one release a year. That's a pretty heavy release schedule for longer JRPGs. Number two, it means that hopefully they put a ton of work into the game, and being that this is the very first Disgaea game on the current gen systems, hopefully it takes advantage of the full power of the PS4. Even though I very much enjoyed Disgaea 4, I do have to say there were some pixely visuals and such. And so hopefully this game doesn't really do that. But I'm excited. I actually, quite honestly, was going to hold off on this playthrough. Because I figured this month of October was going to be too crazy busy to start a game like this. And then all of a sudden, games started getting delayed. And some of the games that I was originally planning on playing, such as Rock Band and Guitar Hero, I decided against because I said, it's too much of a risk with all the stuff that's happened to me this year with copyright issues, which weren't even legit. For me to actually play those musical games and have a chance that I could have my channel in jeopardy, I figured it wasn't worth it. And I know at this point that a lot of people will be into those games. A lot of people all week have been saying, why aren't you playing Rock Band? And honestly, a lot of people have been asking me, am I going to play the Star Wars Battlefront beta? Which apparently comes out tomorrow. Okay. And so, because of that, I understand that there will be people who maybe are off doing other stuff this week. But I'm excited because this week's fun for me. Like, I really enjoyed yesterday. Playing Transformers Devastation was a ton of fun. And to some extent, the Metal Gear Online gameplay was pretty good. It wasn't amazing, but it also wasn't bad. And today I'm really hoping to get into Disgaea 5. So I'll explain to you guys how I'm going to be tackling this game. I'm going to make this very abundantly clear right up front. Undoubtedly, most people will not remember or won't listen, and they'll be questioning it throughout the entirety of the playthrough. But allow me to explain. Disgaea 5 is going to be the game that I balance with all of the new releases. And what I mean by that is if you take a look at the next several weeks of October into November and December, pretty much every week is going to have at least 1 to 2 major game releases that people are going to want to see and that I want to play. Okay? I've already kind of gone through this schedule, so I'm not going to do that now. But what I will do is balance the gameplay of Disgaea 5, okay, with all the new releases. So, the priority is going to be the new releases. But this will be the game that I balance with it, that I play maybe on second stream, that if there's a day where I played one game a ton and I want to give it a break, this will be the game that breaks it up. So understand that this week, Disgaea 5 is going to be a focus. Especially because it looks like I'm going to be beating Transformers Devastation within another couple streams, because it's not a super long game, supposedly. But understand that it's not going to be a game that I'm going to be, I'm playing Disgaea 5 for the next 3 weeks, non-stop. No, that's not the case. But FYI, next week it's a pretty light release week next week. All we've got next week is The Witcher 3 DLC, and I'm still on the fence about playing Dragon Quest Heroes. Like, I want to play it, but I'm hearing that it plays pretty much like Dynasty Warriors with RPG elements, and I really don't know if that's going to translate into a good playthrough for people to watch. And I'm at a time of the year now, unfortunately, where I have to make executive decisions on what games am I going to play and what games aren't I going to play. And being that I'm going to be playing one RPG with The Witcher 3, being that this Disgaea 5 will be the JRPG, I don't know if I want to tackle another RPG. So right now, Dragon Quest Heroes is kind of up in the air for next week, okay? The week after that, there's really nothing much going on during the week except for the final episode of Life is Strange. So I'll be balancing that with ongoing stuff. And Assassin's Creed comes out later that week, and I know once Assassin's Creed comes out, that's it. I'm going to be busy with that and Halo and WWE and the Halloween special that I'm going to be doing. So because of that, I know that, you know, there's really no opportunity for me to try to do new stuff. So understand, I will be playing Disgaea 5 this month. I will be balancing it with all that stuff. But there are going to be times, all right? There are going to be times that this game is going to go on the back burner for several days, maybe even a week, all right? Also, I want to explain this. I remember particularly with Disgaea 4 was the kind of game that I needed to grind a lot. And by grinding, I got better at it, I understood the game more, and I was able to complete it. I actually remember there was a point where I had to grind. If I didn't grind, there was no way I was going to progress in the game. I am not naive, okay? And I'd probably say that I know that this is going to happen with Disgaea 5 as well. The good news is this game is on PlayStation 4, which guess what? It means it supports remote play. So I can boot up my PS Vita, I can sync it with my PS4, and much like I did with Bloodborne earlier this year, I can play this game downstairs at night when I'm, you know, relaxing with Leanna and maybe watching some movies or TV or whatever. And I can spend maybe a couple hours, you know, a few days a week grinding in the game if I have to. And the good news is, if this isn't the active game that I'm playing every day, there may even be potential days where I can play it, you know, like that, and level up a little bit before sessions, or between sessions, excuse me. So I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited about that, okay? And I'm happy that this is an opportunity, honestly. It's a great opportunity with these consoles to have that kind of a feature. Remote play is a pretty awesome feature, in my opinion. So, we shall see what happens, okay? And we'll go from there. We'll, you know, we'll see how the playthrough advances. So, just a quick recap for everyone. Disgaea 5 right now premieres on stream. Tonight, the continuation of Transformers Devastation. Tomorrow, I don't know. It may be the same, or I may flip it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow, but it's going to be the same two games tomorrow, but possibly flipped. Now, if there's an overwhelming amount of people screaming at me to play the Star Wars Battlefront beta, I may do it, but I'm probably not going to do it tomorrow. I'll probably do it on Friday. Okay? FYI. And then, you know, that'll take us into the weekend. This Saturday, there won't be any new gameplay, but Monday will be full streaming days. And I'm hoping to have completed Transformers Devastation by the end of Monday so that I can review it. And then going ahead and getting ready for the Witcher DLC next week and going into all of that, okay? Pretty funny that the PS Vita, someone, actually, DK Mario Link just said this in the stream chat. It's a shame. I guess a shame is the best word. That the PS Vita has become a PlayStation 4 accessory. You know? It really has. It's become a PlayStation 4 accessory. It's not really a game system anymore. In fact, it was funny because this research, I guess it was a research report by Nielsen, was released this morning. If you haven't heard this yet, Nielsen is a polling company that polls people on popular issues, and they polled the United States on what is the most anticipated games coming out this year. Not surprisingly, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 won the polling because I think that's the more mainstream of all the games coming out. Fallout 4 got second place, but they actually did poll specifically for consoles. And it's funny because you say, oh, Xbox One, of course, Halo 5 is the biggest exclusive. PS4, there aren't a lot of exclusives coming out, so it was actually Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection, won the polls, the most popular game for the fall for PS4 exclusives. And then they said PS Vita exclusives. And I'm going to be honest with you, the games that were listed I've never even fucking heard of. Like, it's just dead. The PS Vita is dead. And I said this at launch of the PS Vita. I said, no one needs a console that's a handheld that's this powerful. It's too expensive. No one was asking for a portable PS3. It's not about the graphics. It's not about the features of the console. It's about the games. If you make amazing games, it doesn't matter if it's the fucking quality of the original Game Boy and it's in green and black, people will still play the games. But these game companies still don't get this, supposedly. And they made this ridiculously overpriced handheld called the PS Vita. It was the cost of the PlayStation 3. Gee, do you think I'm gonna fucking buy it? I mean, really silly. And, you know, it is what it is. I knew this was gonna happen. The only thing I'm happy about is that because I bought the Vita when it was new, at least I'm getting use out of it now as remote play for my PS4. Because if it didn't have that feature, that thing would be a fucking paperweight. Seriously. A fucking paperweight. Why is it that the Nintendo 3DS is still the best-selling handheld? Is it because it has 2 screens? No. Is it because of the graphics? No. It's because it's cheaper and it has the best games. Durr. Alright, so anyway, everybody. Let's get started. We're going to begin with Disgaea 5. I will say this, though. I said this on the Weekend Preview, back on Sunday. I'm going to say it again, because I don't think that it's getting through to a lot of people. And I want to make this abundantly clear. I vented a little bit in the stream chat today because I took a look at yesterday's video performance, and it was abysmal. And what I mean by that is I played Transformers Devastation for 2.5, 3 hours, loved every moment of it, uploaded that to YouTube. I played Metal Gear Solid Online last night, or Metal Gear Online, whatever it's called. Uploaded those to YouTube. I just very briefly, and I shouldn't have, I knew I shouldn't have, looked at the videos before I started this stream, and I was like, a sigh of just disappointment, because I've been waiting all summer for new games. The reason I've been waiting all summer for new games is because all summer, the only feedback I got from people was, man, we can't wait for the hardcore gaming season because the new games are coming out, and it's great that Phil is doing content over the summer, but it's all rehashes and redos of older stuff, or he's playing older games, and really we feel that there'll be this big excitement factor coming when the new games come out, because Phil plays most of them, or at least he plays the ones that he feels he can tackle better and he's more interested in. And we're waiting all year for the new games, new games, new games. Well, guess what? The new games are here, but the viewership isn't. I don't know where people are. I don't know what's going on, you know. Transformers Devastation, all right, a game that I've been hyped for since June, and I've played Transformers games in the past, did really well viewer-wise. Here we are, October, the game comes out, and on launch day, if I can't get 1,000 views on each video, that's insanely ridiculous. Like, that's terrible, and I don't know what's going on, and I can't control it either. I have no control over it. It's not like I'm in the middle. I didn't go on a Twitter rant. You know, it's not like there was a reason I pissed people off. It's for whatever reason. I don't know why people aren't interested in these games. But I'm going to say this. Don't take shit for granted. Don't take it for granted that I'm going to be here. Just because I've been here every day doing new gameplay since 2008, don't count on it forever. You know, and what I mean by that is, right now I'm in a situation, I'm trying to pay my bills, I'm trying to pay down my debt from moving out here, and things are good, but it might not always be. You know, it was funny when I was doing co-op with John Rambo over the years, right? And people would always say, oh, co-op with Rambo, and then all of a sudden, I'd probably say the final 2 years that John and I did co-op gameplay, people stopped turning out for Co-op Saturday. You know, it used to be whatever we played was comedy gold and everyone loved it. We continued to do that formula, and after, several years of doing it, people would stop showing up. And I was saying, listen, guys, it's going to come to an end. Eventually, this is going to come to an end, so don't take it for granted. And a ton of people did. It really did. A ton of people did. And what happened? Well, eventually I moved. The co-op ended. And now I constantly hear, why doesn't Phil do co-op with John anymore? Like, well, you didn't watch it the past final 2 years that I did co-op with John. You know, I was trying to be as clear as possible to say, this is not going to last forever. Don't take it for granted. You know, if you don't turn out, it's not going to continue. And, you know, it is what it is. I'm just saying. You know, this is my business. The business is viewer related. And a lot of people, well, I'm not going to watch Phil this week because he's not playing any games that interest me. You know, it used to be, well, I'm going to watch what Phil plays because Phil makes playthroughs entertaining. That used to be the reasoning behind it. Now it's like, well, if Phil plays a game I like, and I understand that. And certainly I'm not telling everyone to watch every playthrough that I do. Okay, don't take it that way. And don't take it that I'm not grateful. I'm incredibly grateful for the viewers that I get, for the support that I get. This year with Patreon has been amazing because of it. But I'm just trying to say, don't take it for granted. Alright? Because it's not. Not is necessarily going to be on forever. It's just not. You know? And you have to enjoy it while it's here. There's potential that within 5 to 10 years, I have to go do something else. Especially if views are going to decline. This is the hardcore gaming season. This is typically when I get my most attention. And it's not happening. Well, then it's not going to last forever. It's that simple, you know. It used to be that people would watch the content. Wow, that's great. Let me go tell my friends about it. Let me spread the word about it. And it doesn't happen anymore. It just seems like, you know, luckily for me, I started in 2008. I started when this was getting big on YouTube, and I do have a dedicated hardcore viewer base who watch everything, okay? And that's great, but the hardcore viewer base is not going to be enough to support me. I'm going to need playthroughs where we get more mainstream attention. Until Dawn was amazing. I played the game. I loved the game. I got the mainstream attention. It translated into views. And, you know, we were great. And then not so much in September. And now it seems like not so much in October. At least got my fingers crossed here that with games such as WWE coming up, Call of Duty, Fallout 4, that we can at least try to get some of that back. Star Wars, too. I'm a huge fan of the Star Wars Battlefront series. And I played the first 2 games. I'm really looking forward to it. So, you know, I am hoping that all these good games that I'm interested in that I'll be playing will translate. But it's disheartening. The point I'm trying to make here is it's disheartening. It's hard for me when I love to do this, right, on a daily basis. And I wake up, oh, wow, it's a great gameplay week. And wow, let's see how the 2 great new games this week did. And I'm like, what the hell happened? You know? Everyone who did watch, you know, enjoyed it. Everyone who did watch enjoyed it. So, don't take it for granted. Check out the content. Spread the word. That's how this continues. Don't take it for granted that, well, I'm just not going to watch Phil for a month. You know, because, you know, none of the games are jumping out at me. I'll come back in 2 months. It's like, in 2 months I might not be here. I'm just saying. That's how it works, you know. That's how life works. That's how business works. A business cannot not operate well for 2 months and then expect that it's going to be great in 3 months, you know. And I'll say one final thing and we'll get started because I am digressing. Some people say, I wish Phil would just play and not worry about views and not worry about anything and never mention it. He's not, other YouTubers never mention this stuff. Phil does, all right? Number one, that's because the other YouTubers probably have good views that you watch. Let's face it. If they're not mentioning them, it's probably because they're good. You remember years ago, you know, 2010, 2011, 2012, I never mentioned it. That's because they were good. You don't mention it as a problem until it's a problem, right? And I am an outspoken person, and I'm a person who's honest with my viewership, and I share stuff with you. That's how I'm different from those other people. I'm not just a scripted personality. You get the real me. And we all have fun. You know what I mean? And some people say, why does Phil have to mention this? You know, because it's honesty, because it's truth. And the bottom line is this. There's no business on the planet Earth that can operate and have shitty performance and then expect that it's going to still exist. You know? Just because someone has a bakery and they make amazing cakes, all right, but they have 2 and 3 terrible sales months, just because they say, well, I'm not going to worry about the financials, I'm not going to worry about the fact that no one's buying my cakes, I'm just going to continue to make great cakes, that's not going to make the business thrive. You know what I mean? It's the same thing here. If I don't mention it, and there's no public awareness of it, then it's not going to get better. You can't ignore life problems. It's not how they get fixed. That's not how they work. You know? I address this stuff because it's truth. It's that simple. You know? If you like what I do, please watch. Please continue to watch. Please spread the word. I'm not saying you have to watch every playthrough, but I'm saying give stuff a chance. Don't have that sheepish, pig-headed mentality that unfortunately mainstream viewers have. That if it's not super popular on YouTube, it must not be good. So don't watch Phil because he's not super popular on YouTube. Or the flip side when you're talking about the game. Well, not everyone kissed this game's ass, so it must not be good. Regardless of the fact that, you know, Phil usually can make things entertaining. Fuck it. You know, that's the mentality that's unfortunately not going to allow me to have a successful business. I'm not like the other YouTubers, right? I've been around before them. I'm here now, doing it my way. Alright, so anyway, as I said, I digress. Well, I had to get that off my chest. I was talking with the stream chat a little bit about it earlier. And I waited all year for the hardcore gaming season to come. Here it is. Now's the time, you know. Don't take it for granted. I might not be here forever. Just saying, that's life, that's how it works. There may be, you know, you never know when things could change at the last minute, or things could go south. And, that's the point I'm trying to make here. Okay? Oh, excuse me. Alright. So let's get started with the premiere of Disgaea 5, everyone. Thank you for being here on stream. Let's get started. Here we go.